Yes, indeed, it's county final day once again here in Breffni Park, and you're very welcome to join us for the next hour and a half of, let's hope, what will be top-class entertainment from these two teams. Gowna to our right and Crosserlough to our left. This, incidentally, will be a unique final insofar as that these sides would have not clashed before in a senior football final. It's also a very special year for Gowna once again because they're back hoping to retain the title, a title that they first won back in 1988. But of course it wasn't at senior level that this wonderful club has come in leaps and bounds over the years, right up through the different grades. This afternoon they're bidding for their seat, for their fourth senior title. Right corner back there with the little mascot Cavan Horton, and team manager to the right there, just gone out of picture, Eamon Coleman. Meanwhile, the Crosserlough team, well, they are up at the other end as they prepare now for the Grand Parade. Crosserlough, of course, will be trying to get back and do what the great teams of the 70s did when they put 7 titles back to back. Whether these youngsters can do that, many of these that weren't, I suppose, even around then, and some was very, very small indeed. Very, very shortly now, the parade will be getting underway.
The half-forward line on the right, number 10, Brendan Tully. Centre half-forward, number 11, Corey Lynch. And on the left, number 12, Adrian O'Reilly. The full-forward line, the right, number 13, Pat Shalvey. Full-forward, number 14, Enda O'Reilly. On top of the left, number 15, Brian Lynch. for today's game is Brian Crowe from Cavan. His linesmen are Ronan from Kingspan and Michael Henry from Commentator. His umpires are Noel Callan, Michael Lyon, Paddy Ferncombe and John Sheridan. Chesigi, they were dealing the Aron Navian.
While the referee for the big final, of course, is Cavan Gale's Brian Crowe, and he gets it underway. So, I suppose what will be most important for these two sides over the next few minutes will be a settling down process. Gowna will play from left to right in this first half, and that's their midfielder. Bernard Morris right through the centre. Early scores will be very important, and are we going to have one here? The answer is no, as that ball goes out to the right of the upright there, and it drops wide. So the first attack there coming to Gowna after about 25 seconds of play in this first half. Michael Lyons, the umpire to the right there, gets the ball out to the Crosserlough goalkeeper. And that's Tony Brady, placing on the corner of his own little square, down to the right. No doubt that all eyes will be out around the centre field area, whence this ball will arrive. Gowna, of course, with a lot of experience, and none other than that man there, or indeed him, Paddy Brady, out to this side. And they're coming forward again. Just outside the 14-yard line, but Brian Crowe has spotted that there will be a free in here from the 14-yard line. And that angle there is about 10 or 11 yards to the left of the goalmouth, down here to the right. So Paddy Brady, who's certainly had a great year in the championship for Gowna, replacing the ball now, very, very secure in his free taking, and he can open the account for Gowna in the early moments of this Cavan Senior Football Final, 97 style. Well, in fact, Kieran Brady has come forward from the centre half-back position. The right half-back there in the centre is Crosserlough's Damien O'Reilly, and Kieran Brady, in fact, has opened the account for Gowna and the champions, and sending the ball over the bar after just under 2 minutes of play in this first half. Gowna with 1 point and Crosserlough with no score. Well, certainly Gowna are a side that have been playing an awful lot of football of late, and indeed down through the years, and they've had a fair amount of success, obviously bidding for their fourth final this afternoon. But when you consider that this is their sixth Sunday on the trot involved in Cavan Championship football, well, one gets the feeling that it might be asking a little bit much. No doubt time will tell by the end of this game as to who is going to stick the pace. As Crosserlough defend on the far side, this is a fairly youthful side also, and perhaps not just as much experience as the men from Gowna who've been around before, as they say. Kieran Brady running into a little bit of trouble. O'Reilly pulling on the ball in towards the Gowna goalmouth, but there's always someone back here to cover up, and Harton gets it down into the centre, but Crosserlough coming forward again. That's Enda O'Reilly inside the 50-yard line, and his left half back is Finbar O'Reilly. Around the 45-metre line, Porrick Lynch, they're not making a lot of ground, though Porrick Lynch now coming forward, and from 25 yards out, he's put the ball in and he's put it over the bar. They may have went about that the hard way, and a lot of exchanges there, but it finally went over the bar, so it's now 1 point apiece and nobody in front. That's Brian Crowe, the referee. Michael Henry from Belturbet, the linesman on the far side, and Donald O'Reilly from Kingscourt. Meanwhile, it's Declan O'Reilly to take the kick out for Gowna. A long ball right into the centre. Another player, Bernard Morris, that certainly has played a lot of football all year. That's Dermot McCabe, fisting it into Paddy Brady outside the semicircle. Paddy finds support in the corner forward, Kevin Madden. Then back to Paddy Brady, and from 25 yards out, a high one that's a good one, and it too has gone over the bar. So if Crosserlough have any ideas as to stamp in an early authority on this Cavan Senior Final, just when they score, Gowna come back, and Paddy Brady, and point number 2. Ball to be placed once more by Tony Brady on the 21-yard line, down to the right. And De Boylan there, they going out of picture. The Gowna right corner forward. Meanwhile, this is Tony Brady, and his kick dropping a little bit short, in fact, to the 45-metre line. Phil Smith here for Crosserlough, finds support back in the defence, fisting the ball forward, and then taking the return pass. And the referee ain't happy with the challenge. The challenge coming on Fergal Harton. The referee has signalled that there will be a free in, and that will be inside the 45, as you can see there on the far side. Gowna full forward, Declan McCabe. Very impressive indeed throughout the championship for this Gowna side. Well, county finals always have a lot of hype and a lot of build-up and so on and so forth, and sometimes the games don't always turn out to be the spectacles that perhaps teams or supporters alike might like to see, but one certainly must take into account, in particular in Gowna's case, while they've been around for quite a number of Sundays, and players have certainly had almost more than their share of football. But no doubt no effort will be spared this afternoon if and that they are to capture their 4th title. For Crosserlough, well, it's a relatively new experience. Perhaps not exactly trying to emulate the great days of the 7 in a row, but no doubt trying to get the black and amber back on the championship match big time. Well, a very short committee meeting there between Paddy Brady and Cavan as to who's going to take this, that or the other, and now Paddy Brady with the kick. That's inside the 45-metre line, a little to the left off centre as we look down. Well, he's put it over the bar, and I'm sure had Cavan Brady taken it, it would have also went over the bar. The main thing for them and Gowna is that it did go over for the 3rd point of the afternoon. So a busy Tony Brady in these first few moments, once more placing on the 21-yard line to kick out for Crosserlough, playing from right to left in this first half in the familiar black and amber. This one a little bit more length into it than the one previous to that. The centre half forward for Crosserlough there was Porrick Lynch, and the referee blows the whistle. A free outfield. That's outside their own 50-yard line, driving the ball forward, but it's going to be intercepted down at the other end, and Gowna pressing forward again. Declan McCabe, the full forward. He's got the full back beside him for good measure. A curling ball in towards the goal mouth, but grabbed and cleared out by Damien O'Reilly out to the far side. Brendan Tully was the right half forward there a moment ago for Crosserlough up along the far wing. That ball obviously gone out over the sideline, and right well Gavin Harton knew that, so it will mean a line ball for Gowna that will be just outside their own 4. That was the 45 to the left, and Gavin Harton to lob it right up into the centre. A lot of the play and the action over there on the far side of the field. Gowna coming under pressure once again. It's centre half back Cavan Brady, momentarily inside the 50-yard line, then the long ball right up to the centre. Not an awful lot between the sides, though the score will of course indicate, the board will indicate that Gowna are no doubt out in front, but Crosserlough very much in there and not all that much sign of nerves around, in particular where Crosserlough are concerned, because this is a very big day for them. Well, the referee just making sure now that this Gowna centre half forward, Dermot McCabe, will be back up on his feet. He's just checking his watch now, and certainly keeping tabs on the county senior final. Just a week they had to prepare for this one. Gowna, we talk about the champions. Just a week, it seems a bit skimpy, but so far rather, they have been coping quite well. Meanwhile, up along the far wing, they're coming forward again. A left-footed ball from about 25 yards out. The angle a little bit acute, and in fact, the shot gone out over the end line. So it's Gowna with 3 points and Crosserlough with 1. Just over 8 minutes gone in the first half, and once again, it's Tony Brady to kick out. So will it be Finbar O'Reilly at the end of the final, or will it be Joe Brady to pick up the prestigious prize? Time will tell. Tony Brady moving well back. And that one coming down towards the 50-yard line. Crosserlough trying to defend and indeed succeeding. Oliver Costello gets it right up through the centre. Knocked down on the far side. It's heading towards the sideline. In fact, it's gone out over, and it will be a line ball.
So it will be yet another line ball to Gowna. This one just inside the 45-metre line, and Gavin Harton to send it right up through the centre in the direction of the 65. A deceiving, hopping ball that will be cleared out into the middle of the field by the Crosserlough defence, way out into an open space. Enda Riley is the full forward. He's dispossessed illegally, says referee Brian Crowe, and awarding the free in. Midfielder to Jenkins is Michal O'Rourke, rather, dropping it in towards the 21-yard line, where yet there has been a bit of folding inside, and the referee awarding yet another free to Crosserlough. This one about 22 or 3 yards out from the Gowna goal mouth. Down here to our left, it's also about 7 or 8 yards to the left of the goal mouth, down here on our left. 3 points to 1. Gowna out in front, and the top of the left man is Brian Lynch. for the black and amber of Crosserlough to take this one. And it's one that, well, it's one which is judging some of his past form. He can tap it over the bar. It's nothing awful, but it drops very low. And Declan Riley grabbing it in the goal, but he's forced to carry it out over the end line at the expense of a 45. Well, that maybe perhaps will give you an idea where the little bit of nerve comes into it in the early moment. But this first half is now 10 minutes old, and it's 3-1 with Gowna out in front. A 45 for Crosserlough. They're playing from right to left. As I say, as we look down, and Brian Lynch is going to take this one. And it wouldn't surprise me, though the last one was an awful lot closer in, that he might very well send this one over the bar. But that breeze, certainly looking at the flags on the far side, seems to be assisting Gowna in this first half. This is just a few yards to the left of the goal mouth. Down here on our left, Brian Lynch to take the 45. Standing steady now. Coming forward, very short run at it. It's dropping short also, and it's brought down by Paddy Brady on the 14-yard line, and he gets it to Joe, the Gowna captain. Joe on the 21-yard line, looking for a fine assist. The Gowna defender found that as he went very quickly down to the ground there. The referee has the little notebook out now, and he is going to have a word apparently with Brian Lynch. He has certainly called Brian Lynch to order onto one side, though Brian has walked away in this direction. Meanwhile, the Gowna player is certainly the victim there of a pretty hefty knock. It looks like Paddy Brady, that he incidentally had to retire in the semi-final, or in the club championship rather, last week. He went off carrying a shoulder injury, but made a remarkable recovery apparently, and is back at midfield along with, well, I'm not too sure whether that's going to last or not, because he's still down just outside the 21-yard line to our left down here as we look down. And the referee has spoken to Brian Lynch. Well, let's see what action may be taken. I think he's just spoken to him as of now, so far. Meanwhile, Paddy is still receiving some attention down here to our left. And he's wearing number 8, if you're listening and watching the game, and Bernard Morris is wearing number 9. So it's a little bit different in the program. Well, the good news is that Paddy is back up on his feet, and the play will continue. And Brian Lynch has just been cautioned. Joe Brady with the free for Gowna. Just inside the 50-yard line, a long ball up to the 50 at the other end. The left half forward is Ronan Simpson, and Ronan is fouled outside the 45-metre line. So it will be yet another free to Gowna, and this one about 48 metres out from the Crosserlough goal mouth, down here to our right. 3 points to 1 with Gowna out in front, and Paddy Brady is going to take this one. It's about 48 metres out, and almost dead centre. Paddy, who is also normally deadly accurate at these type of place balls. This one's dropping a wee bit short. Somebody got a finger to it. It went a bit further in, but Tony Brady got it out for Crosserlough. Out to the centre half back, and the centre half back was Shane Galligan, and he in turn down to the 50-yard line. But the referee penalising Crosserlough for a little bit of pulling on the shoulder inside the 50-yard line. There will be a free in to Gowna. In fact, he's got the book out again, and he is going to speak to another Crosserlough player down here to our right, and it looks like the figure and face of Finbar O'Reilly. Finbar O'Reilly's name is going down into the book, and the referee giving instructions to one of the Gowna mentors to get off the field. So Timmy Fitzpatrick, one of the selectors with Eamon Coleman, being told in no small terms outside the white line, that's where you are. So anyway, the referee has written down the name of Finbar O'Reilly into the book. The free for Gowna inside about 40 metres out, a little to the right of centre, and once more Paddy Brady to take the kick. 3 points to 1 it is at this stage. That's about 13 and a half minutes into the first half. A dull first half. Paddy's left-footed kick has gone in, and it's over the bar. It's over the bar. Paddy Brady's left foot there, sending that one over the bar to increase the lead for these champions, bidding for their 4th senior title since back in 1988, when they made a major breakthrough after coming through all the different ranks at underage level right up to senior. Tony Brady is the Crosserlough goalkeeper. He's 25 years of age. This fellow works as a carpenter, and I'm sure he'll be trying to protect the woodwork this afternoon. A shortish kick out outside the 50-yard line. Breaking hither and thither. Paddy Brady going down, and if Paddy gets it up, pulls it out a little bit to the far side. The centre half forward, Dermot McCabe, going down after it. He's back in the game, of course, after being down. Tapping it into the full forward, his brother Declan. Declan with a big day in front of him this coming weekend. Ball don't pulled away from him up along the far side of the field, and now Crosserlough coming forward. but in fact forced to carry the ball out over the sideline, but there was a push involved, the referee says. So the free to Crosserlough, and the line ball rather to Crosserlough, and this one will be taken by Philip Smith. It's about 70 yards out from the Gowna, a little less than right-footed, dropping right into the hands of Bernard Morris outside the semicircle, and Bernard coming outfield with the ball, but now being surrounded by two and fouled by one Crosserlough player, and the referee awarding the free. Low ball up to the centre, Dermot McCabe grabbing it. Dermot McCabe on the 50-yard line. Centre half back beside him for Crosserlough, Shane Gallagher, but he sends a low ball in towards the 14-yard line. It's grabbed in here in the cornerback position by Ali Costro. Gets it out towards the 50-yard line for Crosserlough. He's a little bit nervous, certainly in this first half. Completely astray, and Bernard Morris was there to punish. Grabbing the ball, dropping the ball in towards the... Other ideas. He rose high to the occasion, got his fist to it and knocked it down into the right-hand corner, and to the surprise of Tony Brady and all the others. It's 1-4 for Gowna, and Crosserlough with 1 point. So that's exactly what Crosserlough did not want in this game. Tony Brady to kick out from the 21-yard line. That coming after exactly 15 minutes of play in this first half. But Crosserlough coming back again. A long ball up along this near side and dribbling towards the sideline. In fact, it hit the sideline flag, but the line ball will be coming up. Though the ball hopped off the flag and came back in a bit, but the line ball will be for Gowna, and Joe Brady will take the kick. A bit of niggling going on down here in front between Fergal Horton and Finbar O'Reilly. They can't really lift a finger now at this stage. Crosserlough coming forward. Damien O'Reilly this time to the full forward end from 25 yards out and put the ball over the bar. And that's exactly what they needed this time. Ed O'Reilly sending it over. It's their second point of the afternoon, but Gowna out in front by 1 goal and 4 points. That's a total of 7, 5 points between them, and just over 16 minutes gone into the first half. And Brian Crone, the referee, is heading back towards the Gowna on the right down here in the Gripsendog. He's going to have a little chat with the umpires down at the Gowna here on our right. Obviously something was happening. Well, it was a very brief word as Brian comes back out now towards the 50-yard line, but he is apparently calling somebody to order. He's calling a Crosserlough defender, it would appear, in towards the semicircle area, and that is the centre half back, Shane Gallagher. It's not a dirty game by any means, but there is a little bit of clipping here and there in it. 1-4 to 2 points with Gowna out in front, and the name now of Shane Gallagher going into Brian Crowe's book. He's telling him no more of that or else. Declan O'Reilly to kick out, and the sound has reappeared after a dull day. Down into the centre of breaking ball to Paddy Brady. Gets it to Kira, 70 yards out. From the lock, Gowna in towards the 50-yard line. Intercepted back. The referee says there was pulling on the ball when it wasn't safe to do so on the pull back here. Dermot Cronin, and the referee awarding a free outfield to Crosserlough about 45, 50 metres out from their own end. Golly Costello way out to the far side. He thought, I think, for a moment that Brendan Tully might have been on the loose, but obviously Gary Dunno had other ideas there for Gowna. And again, a lot of fumbling here, and the ball breaking on the ground here and there, and nobody really gaining much control or trying to get it up. Eventually it's picked up by a Crosserlough half forward on the far side. This ball coming right across into the centre. Intercepted down here by Christy Madden. Christy Madden for Gowna coming forward on the 70-yard line, then the halfway line. Driving the ball is short one up along this near side. Declan McCabe chasing in after it towards the 21-yard line. Declan McCabe still in possession, lifting the ball back down to Madden. Madden outside the 21-yard line. Two defenders around him, but he in turn gets it back out to the side to Fergal Horton. Fergal Horton back to Christine Madden. Christine Madden right with it high, lobbing, dropping ball that swings out to the left of the upright. It's gone out over the end line. It's wide, and the score remains 1 goal and 4 points for Gowna, and Crosserlough with 2 points. Declan McCabe, the goal scorer for Gowna, doubling hurling style on a high dropping ball that came in, quite typical indeed of him, and knocking it down into the net. So Tony Brady to kick out from the corner of the little square down here at the Gowna, down just to our right. 7 points to 2, 5 between them. Just over 18, almost 19 minutes gone into this first half of this Cavan Senior Football Final here at Breffni Park, that up to now has been somewhat wishy-washy. Tony Brady preparing with the long run of this one, then coming forward up he comes now, and his kick out dropping a little bit short. That one inside the 50-yard line. Oliver Costello winning a breaking ball and transfers it right up through the centre, and Crosserlough coming forward now. They had such great games in the championship, and right now it's Damien O'Reilly inside the 45 and closer to the 21-yard line, fouled on route, and the referee awarding a free in to Crosserlough, and this one will be about 35, 38 metres out from the Gowna goalmouth, and about 10 to the right of the goalmouth down here on our left. 7-2, 5 between them. That be reduced now by the centre half forward. Well, I'm afraid the answer is no. Porrick Lynch's left-footed effort went out over the end line, so it still remains 1-4 to 0-2 in favour of Gowna. Declan O'Reilly, the Gowna goalkeeper, very established, obviously at the job. He's placing on the corner of the little square to kick out for Gowna. They play from left to right in this first half as we look down. And playing with what very definitely appears now to be a strong and indeed a stiffish breeze. I think the kick-outs are certainly telling their toll and telling their own story when it comes to that of Tony Brady. Meanwhile, Gowna gaining possession down in the centre. Kieran Brady again winning a breaking ball, dropping it inside the 50-yard line. Oliver Costello doing well in defence for Crosserlough, belting the ball way out to the far side of the field. In fact, it's gone out over the sideline on the far side, despite the best efforts of Brendan Tully. So it will be a line ball to Gowna, and Paddy Brady will take it. It's inside the 70-yard line on the far side of the field. 7-2, Gowna out in front with just over 20 minutes gone. This is a high one, and a lobbing one, and a dropping one. McCabe is down under it, fails to hold on to it though. Ball grabbed in here by the defence and cleared out by Ronan, out towards this side of the field to Finbar O'Reilly, who in turn is fouled on the 50-yard line. The referee awarding the free to Crosserlough. In actual fact, he's bringing the ball 13 metres forward for descent while somebody's lost a boot. Now the referee is calling back somebody else down here to our left. He's having a very brief word this time with Christy Madden. No boot, but just a word of caution to cool it. Meanwhile, the free will now be, the ball will be placed inside the Gowna half of the field, and Brian Lynch will take the kick. And Brian dropping it up along the left-hand side to end to O'Reilly. End a little bit further in. Who's got it now? It's Adrian. Adrian right across the goal. Declan O'Reilly's kick out into the strip of the field. Bernard Morris going up for it, and Bernard Morris bringing it down. We welcome you on this fine afternoon for the exchanging of this Cavan senior football final, and we would also like indeed to welcome our listeners across in New York and some different parts of the world on county final day. 1-4 to 1-2 with Gowna out in front. That was a grand effort. Adrian O'Reilly to sent the ball across on the 21-yard line, way down on the left, and Brendan Tully rose to it there. Declan Riley had his eye on it coming in also, but he got a fist to it first and knocked it down into the net. So there you are, there's just 2 points between them. And Crosserlough coming forward again, but it's way up in the left-hand corner. Joe Brady knocking it away. Joe Brady close to the end line. Looks for him, finds the systems, and the ball eventually grabbed and cleared downfield by Cavan. Harton down into the centre. Shane Gannick is at the other end, and Shane gets it out to the far side to Tully. Tully inside the 50-yard line, and dropping it way up to the right-hand corner. The right-hand corner man is Pat Shalvey, and Pat from an awkward angle, a left-footed curling ball right across the front of the goal, but it's knocked down, and it's picked up once more by Kieran Brady this time, winning a lot of breaking ball out to Bernard Morris. Morris to Christy Madden. Christy Madden up into the middle now to Kevin Madden. All the Maddens in action. Now it's Paddy Brady, and Paddy Brady driving the ball right through the centre to the 50-yard line, the Crosserlough 50-yard line, and it's been protected down here by Damien O'Reilly, the Crosserlough man who fouled on the 50-yard line, and he very quickly takes the free and gets it out to the far side of the field. Mark Real adds a bit of punch to it. But up there is Kieran Brady playing the centre half back, and then a shortish ball out to the far side to corner forward Kevin Madden. Kevin Madden also a short ball down towards the halfway line, just inside the halfway line where Declan McCabe rises to it, is pushed on the way coming down, and the referee awarding the free to Gowna. And he gets up and takes it himself and drops it in towards the 21 of the 14-yard line. It's breaking again. David pumping. Steadiness about the place, but Brian Crow has blown his whistle. There was pushing where Gowna was concerned, and the referee awarding a free out. If you look at it from Weird, was across the field because the fullback took it right across to the far corner, but Mark Rehill was out there all on his own, and Marker sending the ball right up into the centre, down to meet it Brian Lynch. Long ball out along the far side of the field to Enda Riley. Enda Riley with Joe Brady after him, but it's still Enda Riley. 35 yards out, goes to the ground with some assistance, and the referee awarding the free in. It's about 10 metres in from the far sideline, about 35 yards out, and centre half forward Porrick Lynch is going across to take the kick. 1-4 to 1-2 with Gowna out in front. And it looks as though Porrick is going to have a go at this one out of his hands. It's about 35 metres out and about 10 in from the far sideline. And again, I tell you, there's Crosserlough playing from right to left, and we have been, and he has found the target very, very well this time. From well, what you might describe as being a rather awkward or acute angle, but he did send the ball over the bar, and there's now just 1 point between them. 1-4 to 1-3 with Gowna out in front. It's about 25 minutes of this first half. Declan Riley to kick out for Gowna. 21-yard line down into the centre. Morris doesn't even have to go up for this one as it comes chest high, just as he would like them. Back to Kieran Brady. Kieran outside the 50-yard line, making his mind up, but making it up fairly quickly. Gets it then to Terry Harton, and Terry out to the far side of the field. Gowna coming again, coming forward. Ronald Simpson this time on the halfway line. Back to Gary Donohoe. Gary Donohoe a little bit further into Morris. Doesn't quite hold on to it. Ball pulled on by Cronin, the fullback, but it comes out to Ronald Simpson. And dangerous dropping ball. Dermot McCabe is down under it. He too fails to hold it. It's knocked away from by Dermot Cronin, and it's about to be cleared. Is it the referee is going in now? It is the referee, in fact, has penalised the forwards there for pulling on the ball when it wasn't safe to do so, and awarding a free out to the far side of the field across all backward towards the 50-yard line, where there will be yet another free here for the arms around one of the players there on the far side, and this will be about 45 metres out from their own goal. In fact, the referee again moving the ball 13 metres forward and awarding this free to Crosserlough, just in from the far sideline. Short ball up along the far side. Well, Crosserlough have certainly settled down an awful lot more in the last 10 minutes. Now Brendan Tully taking it back on it. See how wrong it was to transfer it to Tully. He got it back to O'Rourke, and O'Rourke sent it over the bar. The scoreboard on one side will tell you that Gowna had 1 goal and 4 points. Well, then if you look at the other, or two at the same time, it also shows 1-4 for Crosserlough. So that will tell you that the sides are level after 27 in fact, 27 minutes of play into the first half of this Cavan senior final here in Breffni Park in front of a crowd of around 6,000. And looking out into the centre of the field once again. Adrian O'Reilly knocking it away, but Vernon Morris very quick to pounce. Fails to hold it though, and the ball picked up here by Adrian O'Reilly once again. And the referee is coming across, and I think he may be going to throw up the ball this time. And if he does so, it will be on the halfway line, just down in front of us here. Brian Crow looking around for 2 loose pairs, nothing loose. And as he does, it comes down and it's knocked down to Fergal Harton. And Fergal Harton going forward for Gowna, then a low ball in towards the semi-centre, and a break away from the forward and the defender will go back and pick it up and get it up. Here is Kevin Madden. Kevin Madden to Dermot McCabe, and this will surely be a point. Dermot McCabe from 14 yards out, curling the ball in and sending it over the bar. It's now 1-5 for Gowna, and Crosserlough with 1 goal and 4 points. And we've about 27 and a half minutes gone into this first half here in Breffni Park. Ball being played by Tony Brady on the 21-yard line out towards the far side for the kick-out. When I say out towards the far side, the referee Brian Crow tells him that when the ball goes over the bar, you must place it in the centre of the semicircle on the 21-yard line, and that's precisely what he does. 1-5 to 1-4, 1 point between them. Gowna out in front. 29 minutes gone in the first half of the senior football final, and the kick out on the free, rather out towards the 50-yard line, grabbed by a Gowna man and sent forward into Declan McCabe once again, and this could very well be another. Well, this is an area where Crosserlough will have to be very, very careful if they expect to bridge this 25-year gap, and that is to keep the ball away from Declan McCabe, if at all possible, because he can be normally deadly accurate when in tune. certainly the last couple of scores he's been doing his bit there and showing that he is a very skillful player, well, certainly when in tune. 1-6 to 1-4, and it's Gowna that are out in front, and Tony Brady to kick out once again. And Tony's kick is a little bit longer. This time it's brought down in the middle this time, here by Phil Smith. He's brought down in turn from the referee awarding the free to Crosserlough. It's halfway between the 45 and the 65 on the halfway line, and Brian Lynch with the kick, a long ball, dropping into the semicircle, and the midfield goal deflected off the goalkeeper. Surprise, but a very, very valuable goal. 2-4 to 1-6. Micheál O'Rourke doing the honours. Declan O'Reilly kick out to the halfway line. Morris pushing it down. Crosserlough, wow, this surely must be a benefit. Adrian O'Reilly dropping it back in again. But Declan coming out the corner back. Gavin Horton not so steady this time, but the referee has blown his whistle and he'll be awarding a free outfield. Declan has lost his cap. I'm sure he'll be hoping that he'll not lose his composure after that one. And it was Enda Riley that set it up. He got it into O'Rourke. He took the shot. It came across Declan O'Reilly. It hopped across him and went into the net for a very valuable goal. So, the referee and Michael blow the half-time whistle. Well, about 31 minutes we make it gone in this first half. And it's 2 goals and 4 points for Crosserlough and Gowna with 1 goal and 6 points, and that means that there's just 1 point between them after the interval. In the first half it was dead and dull in many, many areas, but certainly both sides, and that includes Gowna going through a settling down process. And mind you, when Crosserlough found their feet, and find their feet they did, well, certainly after halfway into that second half, they're coming much more into that game. And 2 goals and 4 points ain't bad scoring by any standards. Gowna have a goal and 6 points. That ain't bad scoring by any standards either. And let's hope that the second half of this Cavan senior final that we can see a lot of excitement. 2-4 for Crosserlough at half-time. A goal and 6 points for Gowna. And we'll have more on the second half shortly.
Perhaps 5-7 to 5 points. In the Golden Bay League Division 2, the World Final was won by Drumgoon. They beat Drumlane by 3-8 to 1 goal and 3 points. What else have we got for you at the moment? We don't seem to... we have racing updates for you. The 2:30 today at Nace was won by number 14, Sharp Catch at 8 to 1. Third, number 2, Coconut Creek at 8 to 1. 17 Rand, and on-runner number 5. 3:30 won by number 7, Afarka at 10 to 1. Second, number 11, McNamara's Band at 10 to 1. Third, number 13, Trip to Dix at 6 to 1. 12 Rand, and on-runner Curiously at 12 to 1. 16 Rand, 14 to 1. Third, number 7, Bala Sola at 7 to 2 favourite, and 16 Rand. Right, that is the latest.
Well, very shortly now, the second half will get into motion. Gowna against Crosserlough in this Cavan senior football final. Michael Henry heading out towards the far side. Brian Crowe is in the centre. And very, very shortly now, this second half will get underway. Crosserlough midfielder out there in the middle. Pádraig Lynch was selected to play on the 40, but then shifted out to the centre field area, obviously to try and combat the ever-towering Bernard Morris and indeed Paddy Brady. Brian Crowe still waiting anxious now. So any second now, this second half will be in motion. So can the inexperience of Crosserlough combat the powerful side from Gowna that have a load of experience behind them? Inexperience on county final day perhaps, but anyway, the second half is underway, and it's a dropping ball right in towards the goal mouth. McCabe outside the 14-yard line is shot, and ooh, it was the luck of God that that one didn't go someplace, but it was cleared out to the far side, and certainly a nearly let off there for Crosserlough in the first few seconds. On the far wing, it's Fergal Horton running into a little bit of trouble, but then gets rid of the ball right in towards the 21-yard line. McCabe down under it again. Paddy Brady there to support, and a little bit of a tangle here now that Brian Crow will have to get sorted out very, very shortly. So there you are now, the referee having that sorted out, and when the play resumes, the free will be to Gowna just outside the 20-metre line. Paddy Brady is the player moving back to the right of picture. He will take the kick, normally deadly accurate, and no doubt I'm sure that this one will be no different. Paddy standing back. Up he comes now, it's left-footed, it's going out in fact to the right of the upright, and it's wide. Well, it's not normally the form of Paddy Brady, but then I suppose some go over and some don't. That was one of the ones that went out. Tony Brady placing on the corner of the square to kick out here for Crosserlough, who will be anxious, no doubt, to get into the game in the early seconds of this second half. Perhaps not a great kick out, but nevertheless it's going to work out all right, and the ball cleared out to this side of the field. Oh, Joe Brady there. And in there was Gary Donoghue, took a bit of a knock. Meanwhile, the ball cleared back down to the centre. The corner forward is Cavan Madden, driving it forward here for Gowna once again. And any time they get an opportunity of going forward, they can be oh so dangerous, but that effort out over the sideline down to the left. This will be a line ball to Crosserlough outside the 21. That's the 21-metre line just down to your left there. Donald O'Reilly, the linesman on the near side here. The referee stalling play for a moment back around the centre field area because there's a problem. And that problem is that Gary Donoghue has picked up an injury apparently to his left thigh. Meanwhile, not too far away, Ronald Simpson, and in the centre, Billy, the one and only Billy. Father and son. And Gary Donoghue moving away now. So it's back now to the line ball about 22 metres out from the end line down to our left here. Right up to the centre. Gowna defending once again. It's the full-back Joe Brady that's way out the field this time. And Joe foul, so here he is to take the free.
Park, and it remains as it was at the break, but that could very well be changed. Declan McCabe is going through. He tries to flip the ball over the bar, but it was cut off by Philip Smith, who came across from the far side, and the ball gone out over the end line for a 50. So it's still 2-4 to 1-6 here in Breffni Park. But you know something? That could have very well changed in the early seconds of this second half, because when referee Brian Crow threw in the ball, Gowna picked it up or went up for it. Paddy Brady brought it down, and then a dropping ball right in towards the goal mouth. Down under it was Dermot McCabe, and Dermot McCabe rose to it with Dermot Cronin right behind them, and for good measure, Oliver Costello and Mark Rehal moved in as well. McCabe turned around, moved out a little bit, and took a rasping shot that was low enough to go in for a goal, but it came off the woodwork and came back out. So there was a little bit of luck there for Crosserlough with that start of that second half. Meanwhile, it's still 2-4 to 1-6. The referee has blown his whistle. There's a free on the far side to Gowna for a foul on Kieran Brady. And he took it very, very quickly. And Micheál O'Rourke was there to pick it up for Crosserlough. Along the far side of the field now to Enda Riley on the 50-yard line. Enda coming across into the centre, looking for support inside. He's got it into the semicircle. The ball is sent high, and it's gone, in fact, out to the right of the upright there. Well, it was a nice move, all right, but it was Brendan Tully that grabbed it just on the edge of the semicircle down here to our right, and he put it out over the end line. So the score remains 2-4 to 1-6, and that's with about 4 minutes gone into the second half. And Declan O'Reilly to kick out once again for Gowna. The feeling that Gowna are going to make a couple of changes very, very shortly. Meanwhile, from the kick out, it's dropping short. That will tell you about the breeze around the 50-yard line. The cornerback for Gowna is Terry Harton. Shortest ball up towards Bernard Morris, who's been bottled up and fouled, and the referee will award the free. He's fouled by Brian Lynch there on the far side, and been obstructed also from the referee bringing the ball forward. And Bernard Morris dropping the ball to the 21-yard line to Declan McCabe, slips to the ground, gets back, holding on pretty tight, not playing the ball, but the referee giving him whatever advantage attorney is in it, and he gets it across into the centre of the 14-yard line for Madden. Kevin Madden has got it, and Madden sends the ball over the bar. Kevin Madden, one of the more experienced players, obviously at 32 on this Gowna side. They're very cool about what he did there and sent the ball over the bar to put the sides level after 5 minutes of play into the second half of the senior final. Tony Brady to kick out the 21-yard line down here at the goal mouth on our left. Remember that Crosserlough will be assisted by this stiff, strong breeze in this second half. But the Gowna will be happy enough with how they may have utilised that in the first half. I'm not so sure. They seem to be playing better in the early moments. Again, the second half against the breeze. Bernard Morris on the 50-yard line. Out to the far side of the field to Fergal Harton. A dangerous dropping ball. Oh, and the Cave machine once again. Morris has sent that one in, and Dermot McCabe rolled to it just like his brother did up on the other end in the first half. Got his right twist to it and knocked it down and into the back of the net. So it's now 2-7 to 2-4 in favour of Gowna, who are trailing at the break. Tony Brady to play from the 21-yard line and kick out. Well, it seems that Dermot McCabe has moved in to pull forward. Meanwhile, the kick out from Tony Brady out towards the halfway line. It's a Gowna player that goes up as Paddy Brady. Twisting the ball forward now to Kevin Madden. Kevin Madden on the 50-yard line is fouled, and the referee will award a free in. The referee is going to speak to somebody once again in the black and amber. No booth, but he's talking to the centre half back, Shane Galligan, whom I have a feeling he may have spoke to before. Yes, but the referee has not taken out the boot. Meanwhile, he's awarding the free in. He's cautioned him all right, and he's awarding the free in. About a yard inside the 50-yard line, down here to our left. And Paddy Brady, it will be against the breeze, but Paddy may very well send this one the distance. 2-7 to 2-4 with Gowna back in the lead. And he comes up now, left-footed, high, floating, and it's gone in and over the bar. It's over the bar. Paddy Brady in fine shoes this afternoon. One wouldn't think last Sunday when his side lost to Burren in the Ulster Club Championship, he came off the field with what appeared to be a nasty shoulder injury, but he's certainly made a great recovery, and he's certainly doing his bit out there this afternoon. Still no sign of those two substitutes that were warming up. They've gone back into the dugout for Gowna. Tony Brady from the 31-yard line to kick out. The bright sun has disappeared. It's gone a bit dull again. The ball knocked down in the middle of the field. And going back to gather it up here for Crosserlough is Oliver Costello inside his own 50-yard line, forgetting the ball, but goes back for it and gets it into Brendan Tully inside the 50-yard line. On that far side, Enda Boylan is beside him, and he gets up and along the wing, and Bernard Morris pulling it down and knocking it out to the far side to Christy Madden, driving it up along the far wing. Out there to meet it is Dermot McCabe. Dermot McCabe, 35 yards out, coming across into the straight and left-footed curling ball. For whatever reason, he just can't fix them. This afternoon, he sent that one over from a very awkward angle, way out there on the far side, to increase the lead. It's now 2 goals and 9 for Gowna, and Crosserlough with 2 goals and 4 points. Well, who would have thought that Crosserlough were ahead at half-time by 2-4 to 1-6. Gowna have scored a goal and 3 points in this second half. And Crosserlough have yet to score in this second half. Desi Brady is now in the game for Gowna. Meanwhile, Tony Brady will kick out for Crosserlough down here at our left on the 21-yard line, and his kick is coming down to the halfway line, and it's breaking ball in after it here for Gowna is the centre half back. The centre half back is Kieran Brady. Kieran Brady out to this side of the field. Ball going towards the semicircle. It's a Gowna forward that's in possession of the thing. He's been alive for holding on to the ball too long, and there will be a free. The Gowna player that was replaced incidentally was Enda Boylan. Enda Boylan replaced by Desi Brady. The free outfield of Crosserlough out to this side of the field. They're going to come back into it. Shane Garrigan thinks they can and grabs the ball and gets it up along the near side of the field. But in there again is Bernard Morris winning a breaking ball. Gets a bit of a snap on the reach there, coming out with the referee awarding a 3-ounce field. 3 to Gowna. Team in a parish that's made up of the 11 townlands. I'm sure there's hardly a player from every townland in it. Meanwhile, Paddy Brady with the resulting free up along this near side. Declan McCabe down under it. Also the fullback Dermot Cronin, the ball in fact knocked out over the sideline from the Crosserlough fingers. And Bernard Morris will take the resulting line ball for Gowna. It's about 35 to 38 metres out. I'm sure he'll drop this one in around the house. It's going out towards the right. The Cape is down under it. Two of them for good measure. And one of them also out there on the far one is Desi Brady. Brady back out a little bit. It comes back now to Desi Brady again. But his kick is blocked down and smothered by the cornerback, Terry Harton. Harton down towards the 50-yard line on the far side of the field. Micheál O'Rourke going out after the ball going towards the sideline. In fact, it's gone out over the sideline. It will be a line ball for Crosserlough about 30 yards out from their own end line on the far side, and Mark Real will take the kick.
Just to tell you, Michael, that Navan O'Mahony's who won the Meath Senior title have beaten Trim today by 110 to 7 points.
Way up into the centre. Harton going high for it. Donohoe going high also, but it's the Crosserlough man that grabs it, and that man is the right half back, Damien O'Reilly, up along the side to Adrian. Adrian with a high dropping ball is fisted back in towards the goal mouth from the far corner. It's not out of the wind yet. It's held in by Brendan Tully. Brendan drops it and Declan O'Reilly picks it up pretty quickly. Out to the far sideline to the 14-yard line, and Kieran Brady collects and clears it up along the far side of the field. It's close to the sideline, but Brian Lynch has all the time in the world to tap it across into the centre to Mark Real. Mark Real with a high dropping ball towards the 50-yard line. Down here to our right now is Damien O'Reilly. Damien O'Reilly's kick is high. It's going towards the left. In fact, it's gone towards the left out over the end line. And the score remains 2-9 for Gowna and Crosserlough with 2 goals and 4 points. That means that there's 5 between them. And we've just over 10 minutes gone into the second half here in Cavan. Declan O'Reilly once again to kick out from the goal mouth down here to our right. This time he decides to take a good long run at this one, but the kick is rather short. It's dropping inside the 50-yard line. It's knocked down and picked up by Christy Madden. Low ball up along the far wing. Declan McCabe way out the field now, and a swap with his brother who's gone in full forward. He in turn gets it into Paddy Brady inside the 50-yard line. Still Paddy Brady being bottled up here. Ball knocked away from him. Desi Brady is there to pick it up and push to the ground. In fact, in doing so, the referee will award a free in. About 40 metres out from the Crosserlough goal mouth, right in front. Is there a change in the Crosserlough camp? Wait and see. Jerry O'Rourke going back in the direction of the dugout. Meanwhile, 2-9 to 2-4, 5 between them. And the free to Gowna. They'll be just out about 5 or 6 yards outside the semicircle. I'm sure Paddy Brady will be taking the kick. One of the Crosserlough players receiving attention now, just down to our left here, inside the 50-yard line. Meanwhile, Paddy Brady places the ball, well, about 40 metres out. Crosserlough player that was Damien O'Reilly that was down there for a moment, but he's all right, and so it's over to Paddy Brady now for the next second or two with this kick that's about 40 metres out. Not a great one, but it's gone in for a goal. How can you say it wasn't a great one? It looked a very poor kick. It dropped short, and I don't know whether it went direct in or that somebody got a hand to it. I have a feeling that the defender went for it all right, and it slipped off his hand and went into the net. Oh dear. 3-9 to 2-4. With Gowna very much in command now in this senior final. Out into the centre, Crosserlough need to do something soon if they're going to get back into this game with 16 minutes left. And it certainly appears that nobody other than Brady got the credit for that ball as it went in. It was about 2 or 3 foot lower than the crossbar. It would have to be, well, at least an inch, but it was about 2 or 3 foot lower, and that a defender did get a hand to it all right, but it slipped and went into the right-hand corner of the net as we looked down, and that is all that Gowna needed. Meanwhile, the referee awarding the free out in the centre here to Porrick Lynch, and he's in fact awarding yet another free for some obstruction of bringing the ball about 20 metres forward this time, so Porrick Lynch will take the kick. And he would be content with the point. That's the symptoms he would be showing from way out here, but he might have, no, I was going to say he might have to settle for a wide. It was heading towards the left. It did curl in, and Declan Riley collected it and sent it out to the 50-yard line. Brian Lynch fisting it forward. Micheál O'Rourke out to this side. And Adrian O'Reilly in the ball now, in fact, gone over the bar from O'Rourke's boot. And there's a substitution in the Crosserlough side right now. John Higgins is coming into the game. John Higgins coming in, 3 goals and 9 points for Gowna. Crosserlough with 2 goals and 5 points. So then, who's coming off? Well, we'll wait and see. 18 points to 11, 7 points between them. Gowna in command halfway through this second half. Declan O'Reilly's kick out towards the halfway line. Down to the centre where it is grabbed full back. In fact, it's gone off Dermot Cronin. Dermot Cronin has gone off and John Higgins, who I would have thought is a forward, so obviously there'll be a bit of swapping around to be done there. I'm sure they'll be hoping it will work. Outside the 50-yard line, they're attacking right now. First of all, that is, but it's very short-lived. Linda Riley was robbed en route towards the 50-yard line, and the ball in the safe hands now of Gavin Harton. The 23-year-old Harton delivers up along the far wing, where in fact it's gone out over the sideline, and it will be a line ball. While county finals, as a rule, don't normally live up to the expectations where excitement may be concerned, and this one is no exception. 18 points to 11, Gowna out in front, and I'm sure they're not worried. Meanwhile, up into the middle, it's Kieran Brady that goes up for it. Kieran coming forward now. They seem to be doing it with ease now as Bernard Morris collects it, transfers it a little bit further in, and when it seemed to be going to Desi Brady, it was then collected and cleared outfield by Real. Down to the far side of the field where Terry Horton is there. Terry's clearance is left-footed clearance up along the far wing to the unmarked Desi Brady outside the 21-yard line. O'Rourke about to move in on him, but it's still Desi getting inside. O'Rourke, in fact, taking the shot, and this is simple as that. He sends the ball in and over the bar. And the smile comes back on the face of Eamon Coleman. 3:10 to 2:5 with Gowna out in front. Very quick kick out, need I tell you, from Tony Brady as Mark Rehill gathers it and sends it right up into the centre. But certainly for the last 10 or 15 minutes, Gowna have been improving with time. Referee out there on the far side, it looks as though he may be going, well, in fact, he's calling for assistance, and that he was going to throw up the ball. One of the Crosserlough players apparently got a bit of a thump or a knock out there on the far side. Meanwhile, referee calling for assistance all right from the sideline. But when the play resumes, there will be a free to Crosserlough, but will be inside the Gowna half of the field, about 5 or 6 yards or thereabouts. 3:10 to 2:5. Gowna bidding for their 4th senior title. They almost set on the trot. But speaking of trots, they're taking part in their 5th senior final in a row. Meanwhile, Brian Lynch is waiting to take the free. And I think we're going to have a substitution here on the Crosserlough team. It would appear very, very shortly. I do believe there will be a replacement. The referee checking with the watch. Certainly a lot of stoppages in the game as of now. And let's see now. Brian Lynch is still waiting. Yes, we do have the number 19 coming in for Crosserlough, and that is Corey Clinton.
Substitution on the Crosserlough team, number 19, Corey Clinton.
And 20 years of age. So the referee has blown his whistle for some holding here on Gowna's behalf. John Higgins is the player that's come off, and he got a knock in the nose, apparently. He has got what we describe as a nosebleed. So it was a knock that he got in the nose. He has been replaced. He was only on the field about 3 or 4 minutes. The resulting free from the 21-yard line has been sent out over the end line, and the score remains 3:10 to 2:5. The bit of bite that we had in Crosserlough, Pat Shalvey, by the way, that sent that one wide, just for the record, and the bit of bite that was in Crosserlough in the closing stages of the first half, it seems to have faded away. Believe it or not, there are a lot of supporters turning out towards the exit. Well, it was about 11 minutes left in this Cavan senior final. And Gowna looking good. Back towards the 21-yard line, it's Crosserlough's Enda Riley in possession, then gets rid of the ball to Micheál O'Rourke. Now about 35 yards out, substitution in possession. The man that came in a moment ago, that was Porrick Clinton, 20-year-old Porrick Clinton. Inside the 50-yard line to Enda Riley. Enda Riley with a high-dropping, lobbing ball in towards the 14-yard line, but nobody really prepared to go up like Dermot McCabe or indeed Declan did at the other end for Gowna in the first and the second half, and subsequently the defence clear the ball out to the 21-yard line, to the sideline on this side where Desi Brady is there to collect. Gets it into his brother Joe, the farmer. Number 4 for Gowna is Terry Horton on the 50-yard line, back to the full-back Joe. Joe is being pulled by the leg, and I'm sure it's not the first time. But the referee awarding a free, and he takes it and sends it out to this side to Bernard Morris. Bernard Morris to Desi Brady. It's as though we're just slipping right through the motions now of this final. Dermot McCabe, rather, to the brother Declan. He'll be walking at a slower pace on Saturday next, but his twisted effort is intercepted down here outside the 21-yard line, and the ball cleared out to this side of the field for the Crosserlough men by Shane Gannigan, the centre half back. Down at the other end is Gary Donohoe. Gary Donohoe to cornerback Gavin Horton. Gavin Horton to Christy Madden. Christy Madden 60 yards out. Make it 50. Now 40. Out to this side to Cavan. Cavan Madden inside outside the 21-yard line. Little bit flick coming from Declan to Bernard Morris, who can very well send the ball over the bar, but in fact it skids off the upright this time right across the end line on the far side, and Ronald Simpson collects it, and Ronald Simpson with a curling ball right across in front of the goal mouth. A dodgy pass there coming from Damien O'Reilly, but it worked out all right, and the ball cleared out to this side to Ed O'Reilly. The full forward is down helping the defence. Now Brian Lynch low along the ground, straight up into the hands of Gary Donohoe. And Gary Donohoe a little bit further into Madden. Madden to Declan. Dermot McCabe's kick is blocked down here by Adrian O'Reilly. Adrian O'Reilly to Shane Gannigan, the centre half back. Now Philip Smith, who seems to be going in to assist the defence, gets it out towards the centre. Perhaps it's an area that he might be of more useful out there, but anyway, he gets it down in the middle. Brian Lynch collects it, and Brian Lynch dropping the ball in towards the 21-yard line, where it is held by Porrick Clifton, and Porrick has sent the ball over the bar. It's a point for Crosserlough, and it's 3 goals and 10 for Gowna, though. 3 goals and 10 for Gowna, 2 goals and 6 for Crosserlough, and that's their second point of this first half, or the second half rather. And who's coming in? Eamon Madden seems to be coming in now. Eamon Madden coming in for Gowna. I think it's just part of a strategy really at this stage. We make it about 8 minutes or so left in the final. Indeed, it was an afternoon that we had a juniors, an intermediate, and now a senior final. Certainly nothing really to shout about in any of them, all of a dull nature. Declan O'Reilly, but to Kill, of course, and Lacken will be very, very happy with their results this afternoon, and it's looking very much as though Gowna will be happy with their second in a row. They're defending. Gary Donohoe up along this near side of the field. The ball may go out over the sideline, but at this stage in the game it could very well be just as good as a score. 19 points to 12, means 7 between them, and barring a miracle or a hat-trick of goals, Crosserlough are going to find it very difficult to turn defeat into victory. Micheál O'Rourke on the far side. Moves across the halfway line, left-footed up toward the centre, inside the 50-yard line. Out there on the far side is Terry Horton, but there's a free in there for a foul on one of the forwards. Young Porrick Clinton is it that went down. The referee awarding the free that O'Rourke will take himself into it, but again nobody inside, with the exception of the Brady. Out to the 50-yard line. Now Kevin Madden. Kevin Madden transferred to Christie. And Christie up through the 65-yard line. He's fouled, and the referee awarding the free to Gowna. It's about 45, 55 yards out from the Crosserlough goal mouth. A little bit of fire that was in Crosserlough in the first half seems to have faded away. There's very little time to bring it back. I have the feeling Gowna quenched it. Meanwhile, Teddy Brady with the kick. About 60 yards out from the goal mouth. A floating ball that's going out towards the left is Declan McCabe, the full forward, fisting it to somebody. It's blocked down by Tony Brady, and Dermot McCabe has got it now, and Dermot sent the ball. Well, it looked as though he was going to send it over the town. He hit it so hard, but he did send it over the bar. It went away out behind the perimeter, out behind the goal, and even that score in itself has shifted a lot of support, even Gowna people in that, heading towards the exit. 3 goals and 11 points for Gowna. Crosserlough with 2 goals, and they also have 6 points, and a big job on hand. Down into the middle now, Teddy Brady taking it from Morris. Now Desi Brady in possession, playing ducks and drakes really, but it's intercepted momentarily back here by Mark Rehal. The shortest twisted effort that comes out to the Fergal Horton man, and the Fergal Horton man has sent it out to the right of the post, and he's put it wide. Still 3-11 to 2-6. Tony Brady to kick out. Down here from the corner of the little square, and they're going and moving in droves now out towards the exit. They've seen enough of a poor senior final. Bernard Morris going high in the air, bringing the ball down. Transfers it inside to Eamon Madden this time, and Eamon Madden dropping it in towards the goal mouth, where Tony Brady collects it and gets it out towards the far side of the field. Mark Reel is there to pick it up. 22 years of age, this fella, works as a carpenter. Fisting the ball up along the far wing now is the ball to Philip Smith. Philip Smith a little bit further into Adrian O'Reilly. Adrian now moving towards the 21-yard line. Still in possession, decides to take a shot. And all too often they've been doing this, dropping the ball right into the hands of the Gowna goalkeeper. And it looks so easy from here as he clears the ball out to the far side of the field. Philip Smith goes up for it, brings it down. The linesman holds the flag firm on the far side. But I do believe it could very well be a Gowna ball. There's another substitution coming in for Gowna. Jim Sarahan is coming into the game. Jim Sarahan coming in. This one is 23 years of age, so it will tell you that they have plenty of talent in and around Gowna. Desi Brady rather coming off. Jim Sarahan in the game. Desi Brady is off. And Gowna coming forward, and this time it's Cavan Madden on the far wing, close to the sideline, fisting it into Declan McCabe. And Declan McCabe is fouled inside the 50-yard line. The referee will award a free in. Well, Crosserlough will be disappointed because some of the football that they played in the championship, indeed to date, was highly entertaining, to say the least, though there were some areas in their semi-final that they did struggle, but they finished again very strongly and played some super football. One felt that they might have upped the tempo a little bit for this senior final, but apparently it wasn't to be. If they did, it was very short-lived for a period in the first half of this game, which left them leading 2-4 to 1-6 at the break. But how in the second half the Gowna have taken the place over, and looks as though they're going to put one back-to-back. Meanwhile, there's a Crosserlough player over on the far side receiving some attention, and I do believe it's Damien O'Reilly that's down on the far wing. Meanwhile, the referee is over there just checking, spotting to see how things are. And a lot of people have been moving towards the exit. Many of these, of course, may be Kill and Shercock and Lacken and Bride supporters this afternoon, but many of them, indeed, for the last 10 minutes or so, well, you could include Crosserlough and indeed Gowna. 3 goals on 11 points to 2 goals on 6. That's 20 points to 12. 8 points between these sides. And Tony Brady once more to kick out for Crosserlough. And with about 2 minutes or so left in the Cavan final. Out there is Adrian O'Reilly, and he's fouled outside the 50-yard line. The referee will talk briefly to Paddy Brady. In fact, he's pulled out the little hoop. Adrian O'Reilly is down all right. The referee will award the free to Crosserlough about 55 metres out from their own end line. And he's written down the name of Paddy Brady into the book. Meanwhile, Adrian is now back up on his feet, and he will resume his place. We're into the last minute and a half of this senior football final that never really ignited. Meanwhile, Gowna defending from the resulting free. Kieran Brady to Bernard Morris to Joe Brady up along the near side to Jim Sarahan inside the 50-yard line. But Jim being in a little spot of bother this time, robbed here, and the referee awarding a free. He was robbed by Finbar O'Reilly, and Finbar was fouled, and Micheál O'Rourke will not take the free. It will be taken by Pádraig Lynch instead. Now, I don't know whether he's going to try and test his skills at scoring points or try and lob it in. Well, if he's testing the skills for points, it's gone way out to the left, and the ball being pulled down by Gavin Horton. Horton out to the far side of the field. Kevin Madden, he's supposed to be top of the left, but there was about 14 yards out from the opposing goalmouth. And maybe he might make a better forward than a defender. He ran into a lot of trouble there, but eventually got the ball to Fergal Horton, who in turn gets it up into the middle just to clear the air. 3-11 to 2-6. 3-11 to 2-6. And Benny Riley, you will hear coming over the public address there. Danny Riley rather coming in, and Damien O'Reilly gone off, and Gowna coming forward once again. Gary Donohoe inside the 50-yard line. Bernard Morris then transfers. No surplus votes here, but he gets it inside to Christy Madden. Christy Madden is robbed this time. O'Rourke gets it out to the middle to Brian Lynch, who's all alone. Brian Lynch chips it forward with less than a minute left in the game. And Gowna about to become, well, not the new champions, but retain their titles. And Micheál O'Rourke on the 60-yard line for the Crosserlough men sending the ball in towards the 14-yard line, but again there seems to be nobody in there with the exception of Terry Horton, but Terry took too many steps out of the ball that time. I think he might have been doing a little bit of the waltzing Matilda effort, and the referee penalising him for doing so and awarding a free in that Pat Shelby will take from the 21-yard line down here to our right, and is slightly to the right of the goal. He tried to just drop it in hope, and even at that it would be, well, too little, all too late. There's a free outfield anyway, a free outfield to Gowna about 5 or 6 yards out from their own end line down here at the goal mouth on our right. 20-12, that's the score, not the time. Gowna very much in front. So here's the free out to this side of the field to Cavan. He's an inch short of 6 foot, this fella, but a whale of a man. Michael O'Rourke in the middle, dropping it back into the semicircle. Kieran Brady taking it from Kevin Madden, and out to the far side where it will be belted upfield by Fergal Horton. Up along the far sideline, going in after it here for Gowna is Eamon Madden. Eamon Madden's got it outside the 21-yard line. Got a few Crosserlough people around him, but the referee says that he held on to the ball too long, so here's the free outfield. Oliver Costello down to the 50-yard line. Enda Riley coming out to it. Enda Riley in possession now. Right-footed, dropping ball in towards the goal mouth. And Joe sailing there like a ship, only high in the air there, and gets the ball out to the far side. The referee having a look back in at a bit of mauling that was going on. Meanwhile, Kevin Madden is coming forward to the 70-yard line for Gowna now. We're into injury time, and he drives it up to Declan McCabe, who never really had to move out of second gear. And Declan McCabe with a left-footed curling ball. I tell you, he's put it over the bar. All of 40 metres out, all at his ease, under no kind of pressure, and sends the ball over the bar. I don't know how many that has he got, but it's at least 4, if not 5. There's a feeling that we're not too far away now from the final whistle, as Gowna are penalised for touching the ball on the ground on the far side, so there will be a free to Crosserlough, and Pat Shelby will take it. This is what they call playing it out. About 30 and a half minutes gone. And Mark Rehill sending the ball in towards the goal mouth. But all too often there are 3 or 4 defenders there for the price of one forward, and indeed a forward making himself available as a defender is Kevin Madden, who gets it out to the brothers. And now it's Christie to Paddy Brady. Paddy Brady up to the 50-yard line. Now Eamon Madden further into Declan McCabe. And Declan McCabe lifting it high in the air, but Philip Smith is there to get it first, and he's fouled, and there will be a free outfield. Quickly taken to Shane Galligan. Shane Galligan out to this side of the field into a very much open space as it heads towards the sideline, but Michael O'Rourke will save it from going over for Crosserlough, and from 80 yards out from his own goal mouth, he sends it right out towards the far side of the field, but out there to meet it is all over. 3-12, we make it 3-12 at the finish for Gowna. 2 goals and 6 points for Crosserlough in what might only be described as a poor final. Certainly never any excitement or entertainment at any stage in it, but I'm sure Gowna will not be worried about that. They were not always in control, but certainly they were always in control in the second half. In the first half, in the first 10 or 15 minutes of the first half, it was all Gowna, but Crosserlough came back into it and played the best of football for about 15 or 18 minutes. And where that best of football went for the remaining 30 or 31, I do not for the life of me know. They just seemed to fade out of the game, and Gowna upped their tempo, and they were never under any pressure at any stage in that second half. And once from McCabe got into action. The goal in the first half from Declan, and a goal in a consistent effort from it's difficult to know quite a big difference between the guys because once again to the football.
to Breffni. We're going to stay on until 6 with our national and international news.
Could we have the Gowna captain, please, Joe Brady? Joe, please, for the presentation of the Cup to the senior final.
Commentator campaign is Breffni by way of Ronan, Scotland, and Will, and give us a view. First of all, I want to congratulate both teams on the fighting this team with an excellent game. I extend my heartiest congratulations once again to Gowna on retaining the Senior Championship Cup. I commiserate with Crosserlough. And again, I congratulate them and wish Gowna the very best in the future. So without further ado, I hand over the Kingspan Cup and Senior Championship Cup for 1997 to the captain of the Gowna team, Joe Brady.
Great honour for me again to come up and lift this Senior Championship Cup on behalf of a great team a great Gowna team. This is our 5th consecutive final. And they deserve every one of them, and deserve to be in every one of them finals. It was said before the day that Gowna is an old team. Well, you can't send boys out to do a man's job, and the day we proved it. A team that's only as good as what backs it up. And I'd like to thank every member of the Gowna panel, both junior and senior, because it has been a long campaign. I think this is the 8th Sunday in a row we had to play, and that's very hard on our lads' limbs, I think. Only for the backup team, our head white, Matt Mulvaney and Billy, you wouldn't see a lot of faces out there that were playing today. I'd like to thank Gowna Construction, our loyal sponsors as well. Always sticks with us through thick and thin, and today was no exception either. I'd like to also thank the 3 wise men, Philip, Timmy and Eamon. They often said the war and fighting along the line, but I think the war, and they had many hard decisions to make in picking a team. Without Eamon Coleman, we wouldn't be here for 2 in a row, and hopefully, when we settle down after the day, we might be able to get round them, and hopefully be there for 3 in a row. To my friends from Crosserlough and our friends, I have no doubt that they will be back. I said it to a few of them after the match, and I think they're after winning under minor and under 21s. The next step is senior, and when they come, they'll be there, and I tell you, we'll be sick of them before we see the end of them, I'd say. So, without further ado, 3 cheers for our great Crosserlough team. Hip hip, hip hip. Tomorrow is a bank holiday in Gowna.
Our sponsor of the Junior Intermediate Senior Championship, Declan Sheridan, to present the man of the match to a great Gowna player, a great Cavan player, Bernard Morris.